Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome in. All builds are personal playstyle, whether you want to have more throwing knives, whether you want to have the throwing knife do more damage. There are some things we can talk about. Eventually, when it comes to the skill tree, you are going to have all the skill trees unlocked at some point, but I will talk about the skill tree first, and then I will talk about the tools upgrades that I think are the best for me personally, and maybe if you like them, you can use them yourself. I have everything unlocked at this point. You can unlock everything by just playing the game normally and doing contract missions. You'll be able to get them. I think the main thing you want to aim for at the beginning of your journey, I would say, is extra tool capacity, so you can have more than just throwing knife, and I think you should go for a smoke bomb. What you get here is up to you. I personally prefer throwing knife and smoke bomb very early on, and I really need knife recovery because you are gonna run out of knives a lot early on. And also having knife recovery just means you can just take them off the dead body. You don't need to interact with it. You can just walk on top of the corpse and Bossum will just take the knife. So I prefer that. And I really like, of course, chain assassination. So chain assassination is something I wanted to get quite early on. So the main things you want to get: chain assassination, extra tool capacity 1, and knife recovery. Early on, this is really good. And then from there, you can do whatever you want. The ordering of when you get these things don't matter. If I were you, I'd personally try to get chain assassination first, then extra tool capacity 1, and then eventually knife recovery 1. But you can do how you want. This isn't like a one-way thing. I just personally like to get assassin focus. Once I unlocked assassin focus from the first target, when you kill your first target, you will unlock assassin focus. And I increased my capacity by 2 and another one here because with my build, I specifically go for the hidden ones outfit, which enables me to get assassin focus charges from getting stealth kills, and it increases by 15%. So how you go about it is completely up to you, what gear you wear. So essentially, these are the things you want to aim for early. And the Enkidu stuff for Predator is something you can do maybe towards the end if you want, or early if you really feel like you need it. But a lot of these are very good quality of life stuff, especially Enkidu's perception increase. It really helps you scan targets much easier, but just flicking your cursor or if you're on controller, your joystick on the target, boom. Okay, so we talked about skill tree. I will talk about inventory. Here's my build. I use the hidden one outfit. You can get this in the Baghdad, in the center of Baghdad, towards the round city. You will find this here. And this hidden one outfit should be found around the Mazalim courts, just north of the viewpoint here in the middle. So that's for the hidden outfit. And then you have costume doesn't matter, talisman doesn't matter. These don't actually have any effect. They're just for cosmetics. Sword it doesn't matter early on with what sword you get. I personally use the Rotsam sword. I avoid combat at all times. It's not really something I want to do. But in the cases that I do, I think having the Rotsam sword is really good because the more attacks you land on your target, the more your damage ramps up, and then you'll just start seeing big damage. So it really helps against that notoriety 3 guy that comes after you and you have to be in combat. Here's another thing I do. I go for Rostam Dagger because this is the main dagger that I pick for using stealth. You're hitting enemies with throwing knives from close range, deals 10% damage. So imagine this, right? If you're hitting someone with 10% damage on your dagger, plus you're going for perks on your throwing knife, it's going to be an insane amount of damage. And this will help you kill notoriety 3 guards pretty easily. It will help you kill guards that are even far away. Or far away helps because I'm using the further... when you hold down the throwing knife, it flies further and increases in damage. So with this, it's just an insane amount of damage you're doing. I one-shot a notoriety 3 guard with this by hiding in a bush and charging it fully right in his head. Boom, insta-kill. But that's obviously because I have specific perks that I'm going, which I'll explain now. So essentially, that's the dagger that I use, and this is the sword I use. The sword can be whatever. I like the Rotsam on both. I think they're both very good weapons. As to what more weapons I will unlock in the future, I see there's 6 more slots. I have to see. I haven't actually got that far in the game to unlock them or something. Maybe it's through contracts. I'm not quite sure yet. But essentially, that's it. Now I'm going to be talking about the tool upgrades, which is obviously completely personal preference. I think everything that you do here is viable. But I'll go ahead and speak to him. This is where you can upgrade. In any bureau, you can just talk to Ibn Musa or any of they're like triplets, basically. They always chill here. This one's Ibn Musa. So, throwing knives, I use extra ammo by 2, and I use sharp blade. These 2 are extremely good. Having more ammo means you're just going to be able to shoot not only from far away, but you can also recover it, like we talked earlier. Increasing how much damage does by the throwing knife causes by 50%. So remember, we have a dagger that does 10% damage when you're close, and now you have an extra modifier of damage, which increases it by 50%. With tier 2, we go for light blade, which allows it to be charged to fully. You'll know when it's fully charged when it has that at the end of the charge, it will make that kind of glowy effect on it, meaning that it's fully charged. And basically, this will increase the range and damage, both. So the damage here is pretty insane. Sharp blade doesn't have a distance requirement, so you can just increase how much damage you do with it at any range by 50%, which is insane, right? You're like a murderous assassin from high range and close range. The last one for tier 3, I personally like armor piercing. Penetrates armor to deal standard damage. Sometimes there are guards that wear helmets, and I notice when I put my throwing knife on them, like it does an insta-kill. But if you have armor piercing and you charge it up fully, and you also have 50% increased damage, and your dagger also does 10% damage, it will immediately one-shot the guy wearing the helmet. These armored dudes, they normally you can't one-shot them with a throwing knife since they're wearing helmets. Some body parts are easier to, like, it does more damage, so it really depends on your build. So I personally love armor piercing. The reason I don't like corrode body is because when I walk over trying to retrieve my throwing knife, I don't know sometimes where the body was or where I killed it, and I'm looking like, where's the throwing knife? Well, it's personal preference. If you don't go for the pickup throwing knife thing, then maybe you don't care about this, but I really do. So I personally don't like this. And also, I can just hide the body. I can just leave the body, get someone to it, and then kill them, or set up a trap on top of the corpse. There's so many ways that you can do. They can go about a situation where you don't need to just corrode body. So that's for the throwing knife. Smoke bomb. I use extra capacity to, and I use durable smoke. It increases how long smoke remains active. I think this is massive. The idea with this is I'm going to be using Assassin Focus, right? And Assassin Focus is a big part of my build because I'm using the Hidden Ones outfit, which increases every time you get a kill, it increases the bar. Without that outfit, it's going to do much less increase. It's going to increase less in your Assassin Focus. So having an increased duration of smoke bomb means I can throw a smoke bomb, Assassin Focus people outside the smoke, and on the last blink of my Assassin Focus, I go inside the smoke bomb, and then I normally kill everyone inside with just Hidden Blade, and this will charge up more. So let's say there's 3 people in the smoke, I get 1, 2, 3, then I used 5 Assassin Focus, and now because I killed 3, now I have 3 Assassin Focus charges, which I can use again to kill people that are around the vicinity. So essentially, you can kill like over 10 people in quick succession if you have the perfect timing, perfect execution. It's all about execution. It's all about tactical, how you're gonna move about it tactically. And I personally prefer this. I use Silent Blast for tier 2 because if they cannot hear the smoke bomb, I'm bringing less attention to myself, and this is obviously the way. And the other 2 options for me aren't really something I care about. Recover Bosom health inside smoke, I don't care about this. I just don't lose health. Plus you have elixir, it's more than enough. You have 3 elixirs, which I personally feel is more than enough, but if you use stealth properly, you never need to use healing vapor. Damage enemy caught in the smoke. This is like basically like a poison effect, I guess you can say, and it kills people inside it. This isn't something I want to do, because in tier 3 I specifically go for mind wipe, and I don't want to kill people. You know, there's a lot of contracts where you have to get full synchronization, you have to not kill people. And so smoke bomb is a tool that I use to not kill people. If I want to kill people, I use throwing knives and hidden blades. With the other tools, I use them to specifically do things in a non-lethal way. Okay, I have mind swipe here, which makes them forget about you after you smoke them. And you have flammable smoke, which is something you can do if there's like a place for burning fire. But again, flammable smoke is extremely situational. There has to be a fire next to the guards, and it has to meet these certain conditions. Meanwhile, mind wipe will always be useful every single time, every single situation, because it will, every time you're just going to be able to make them forget that they saw Bossum. So again, it's up to you. I just personally feel there's a lot of fire areas, but not every time you're going to be using it this way. Sometimes you just want to smoke a group of guards and kill them. So you're losing value of the flammable smoke. So I personally like mind swipe, because if I'm running away or something being chased, I just throw the mind wipe and just make them forget about me. For trap, I use increased duration, increase how long the effect this tool lasts, and I have extra ammo capacity. I personally like having, because it's only 4 by default, so this makes it 6. I personally prefer this. I like how long it takes. It takes 60 seconds. When you knock someone down, they are basically knocked down for 60 seconds, allowing you to move freely. Very good for non-lethal missions. You can just pop this, they get knocked down for 60 seconds while you walk around. You don't even need to kill them. And then here we have tier 2. I go for wide burst. This increases the explosion area effect, so it's going to affect more people. The other options are fracture and whistle trigger. Whistle trigger, in my opinion, I tried it. Man, it's in some situations you think you're close enough, and then you whistle, and then you trigger another trap by accident. Or sometimes you cannot be close in range, and they walk on the trap, but you can't trigger it because you're too far away. I personally think this is way too situational if you're always going to be playing close range, which is something I don't do. I only play close range if I need to use throwing knife, or I need to use hidden blade. And like, if I'm close enough, I might as well not use a trap. I can just kill with a hidden blade or smoke bomb kill. But this is an option. You can if you want. I just personally like to let it detonate by itself. Wide burst for me is the way. Tier 3, I use lingering knockdown. The other option is actually not bad either. It replaces the non-lethal component for a fiery explosion. Again, I like to use these other tools for tactical purposes. My throwing knife is my main damage. My throwing knife is the thing I want to use for aggression. So I go for non-lethal approach. But yeah, I think knocking them back is really good in many situations. I just think if you knock them down and it also lasts for 60 seconds, the fact is, by default, you can see the knockdown effect doesn't show up here in duration, but when I put this, the duration is 60 seconds. And obviously we have increased duration here. See, without it, it's 40 seconds. So I select it, obviously, with that. And I just prefer this much more. So in total, increased duration and lingering knockdown is a total of 60 seconds. So I personally like that. Next up, we have Blowdart, which is really good for sleeping people. It's unlimited time for me because I have deep slumber. But we'll talk about tier 1 first. I have extra ammo capacity, and I have increased the effective range. This is really good for me because, by the way, it's a 20-meter range. I think it's very good. Without this, it would be 13 meters. So I prefer extended range just to be able to get that target that's a bit further away and make sure he slept. Tier 2 is completely optional, on situational, based on what you prefer. I don't agree with the poison one. You can if you want, but I just don't go poison. I'd rather just sleep them. I use cloud impact. If there are 2 guards next to each other or multiple, I just use this. Multiple of them sleep, go about my day. And guess what? They sleep forever because I use deep slumber. The other option here is targets can no longer be awakened by other guards enraged targets die after the effect ends. So if a guard tries to wake someone, they're not going to be awaked, and they die when the effect of it ends. So this is also very good. I would definitely say Cloud Impact or Potency are very good options, but again, you have to be careful. Enraged targets die after the effect ends, meaning that this is now going to be used lethally. And because I like to approach non-lethally, due to contracts, stuff like that, where you have to do non-lethal stuff, I always just go for this, and I make them sleep forever, and it's fine. If people come to wake the guard, I set up a smoke, or I let them wake up and do my thing, whatever I need to do. Like, never have to approach it lethally for me. But you can if you wish. You can be a murderous assassin if you want. It's up to you. Berserker Dart, again, it causes mayhem, it causes chaos. I personally like to just do things discreetly. But this is still a good option. It's just like from the older AC games, you make them go berserk, they start going crazy, and it's good in a lot of situations as a distraction. You can use it even on the big guard if you can. Try to use it on someone armored, let them go crazy, and then do your thing. Good option. But remember, if you do this, now it's a Berserker Dart. It's no longer a sleeping dart. And I prefer to sleep targets and make them sleep forever. And so that's the idea of my the Blowdart and the perks that I use for that. Noisemaker, I use Loud Fuse and Extended Range. Now you might be thinking why I don't use extra capacity. That's because with Noisemaker, you start with 7. Yes, by default, you have 7 tool ammunition. And so if you put the point in this, it will be 10. 7 is more than enough. You don't need more than 7. So this is kind of worthless for me. Instead, I go for increased distance from which enemies are drawn to the explosion, and increase the distance you can throw this tool, which is really good. If you're trying to throw something like further away from where you're standing, you can make them walk away further. And I think that's good if you want to use it like that. And increasing the distance from which enemies are drawn to the explosion by 5 meters is also very good. It just increases the distance. It's all about creating distance. And I like using the Noisemaker like that. So yeah, tier 2 is Fireworks. There's Weakness and Sparks. Again, Sparks is like more aggressive. It can explode, fiery areas. Again, it's very lethal. I use non-lethal approach. Weakness, you can lower the defense of enemies caught in the explosion if you wish to do that. Or Fireworks, which draws and holds enemies' attention for a long time. I don't really care about Weakness too much. It lowers their defense and all that. But this is an option if you want. It's a decent option. I like to just make them distracted for a long time while I set up a play. So you can like bring them in, let them stay longer, let more people come, and throw a smoke bomb, kill them all. Essentially, you can do that. And also, like this weakness, it will incentivize you to use it on targets rather than to use it as a distraction, because the effect lowers their defense. And the way I want to do things is I want to make people walk towards the Noisemaker, and I want to use it that way. Tier 3, finally, I use Terror. You have two options, Shockwave and Terror. I like Terror in situations where I got caught. 5 million people are chasing me. I throw Terror, they all run away, and I go about my way, and that's it. Furthermore, you can use a smoke bomb and mind swipe them. So if you run out of smoke bombs, guess what? You have 7 Noisemakers, and this will make them run away. And I think that's really good in those kind of situations where you're being chased by a lot of guards and you just cannot get away from them. Throw a Noisemaker, make them run away, create distance from them. That's it. It's that simple. Shockwave is all okay as well. It dazes all the targets inside the explosion area and breaks cages, vases, and fragile walls. So you can use this to break walls as well. It's a really decent option in a lot of cases. So up to you how you want to go about this. Personally, I like Terror. I just want to make them run away from me, and I find that to be very good. And so this is generally what I recommend for the tools. Remember, you can always use the wheel, or personally, I use keybinds for it. So I have, my number 1 is Throwing Knife, my number 2 is a Smoke Bomb, my number 3 is the Noisemaker, my number 4 is the Blowing Dart, and my number 5 is obviously the Trap. So you can keybind those things. And quick usage is you can hold right click, and then you have 2, 3, and 5. So if you do this, you can basically throw a trap under your feet, like so, by pressing 5. If I press 2, it's smoke bomb. You can basically do it fast, like that. See? Instant. Very instant. And then, obviously, the last option would be Noisemaker. If there are guards chasing you and need to throw at your feet, just like that. This will make them go away, and we'll do some fire cracking. So that's the main way. Just know also, for throwing knives, you can use it as to use cover. If you go on a wall like this, and you walk further, closer, Basim will take cover, and then you can charge it while in the cover, and then you'll see once it glows, now's the glow, then you can just throw it, boom, and it's going to travel super fast, and it's going to insta-kill, it's going to increase range, and with our outfit, increase the throwing knife damage by a lot. If you come over like this and walk up to the cover, he will immediately stand up. He won't stay crouched. So, but you're in cover, so you don't need to be crouching. So in situations where it's like boxes that are like kind of like this, you're not going to be able to use cover like the animation for it. You will have to move like this. You can charge it up in cover, and then peek out, and then boom, throw it like that. So you have that option as well. And remember, use every tool you can. Use the high ground. High ground is your best friend. You can smoke from high ground. You can do so many plays by high ground. Remember, high ground is your assassin best friend. You also, with the throwing knife, you have really cool things that you can do with it. With skill tree, if you upgrade the skill tree deep enough in Predator, you can actually jump and then hold the button, and it will enter this slow motion. So you can set up a lot of things with your tools there. You can set up a smoke and then jump from a very high place, and then while having the throwing knife out, maybe I can demonstrate an example here. You throw it like this, smoke the group, jump, throwing knife someone from like afar. You can charge it up if you want, throw it, and then enter Assassin's Focus. That throwing knife is now in the middle, it's in the middle of the air. By the time you finish Assassin Focus, this throwing knife is going to hit that person, so you can ignore that person with Assassin's Focus and let the throwing knife kill them. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, target whoever, and make sure the last charge that you have is inside the smoke bomb. So you kill people outside the smoke, and then you use the last charge to go inside the smoke bomb and kill the people inside the smoke bomb with your hidden blade, which then charges up your Assassin Focus again. So after that, you can use Assassin Focus again to maybe take high ground. So you can maybe leave someone alive up there, so you can immediately reclaim high ground with a charge from Assassin Focus from killing the people in the smoke bomb. So you go bang, 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 Assassin Focus, I take high ground again, and then you smoke again, and then jump down. So you have so many tools. Look, that throwing knife is... See, because you're entering slow motion, this throwing knife is moving really slowly, and obviously, as you just saw, it hit right there. So whichever guard is there, they're gonna get, killed. So it's really interesting. Assassin's Creed Mirage Stealth is super fun, super tactical, super exciting. It's easily my favorite Assassin's Creed right now, I'm gonna be honest, especially when it comes to the stealth gameplay. Assassin Focus, people were wrong about it. It's really exciting. The amount of tactical approach that you can have with it is amazing. Just remember that it has a set range. See, this is the range. Anything outside this range, you cannot target those people. So I recommend that if someone's a little bit further, that you kind of jump. There's a reason why we jump and then use Assassin Focus, because now we extended our range, and we're in the middle of the air. We extended our range. We can select that target that was further away. So you don't have to just stay on top. You can jump, Assassin Focus, do your thing, and then make all the plays that you need to make. So those are some just gameplay tips I can give you with stealth, because there's so many ways to approach stealth in this game. There's so many different kind of builds that you can play with, and I tend to go for a non-lethal approach with my tools, but very lethal approach with my throwing knife and Assassin Focus, since that's where all my strength comes from. And you can see here the range of the throwing knife, for example. See, this is without me holding the charge. I can literally stand here and hit him. And then once this is like this, you come closer, it targets. But obviously, if you increase the range by holding the dagger, you're going to see that it increases damage and range. Once fully charged, now we're able to hit him. And the range does go quite far, actually. It does go quite far. I have tested this in one of the missions. We can try over here, and just so you can get a feel of it. See, all the way from here you can hit this guy. All the way from here. And if I go even further, I'm gonna lose line of sight. But I can still see the tagged marker. Say from here. So charge it up. Watch this. You get him from here. It's a very high range. It's not to be underestimated. This is why I really favor this perk. And now I'm even further. Look at this now. It's the range. Even from here. It's a very, very high range. It does go further. Like, I'm over here. Basim's got some muscle. Even from here, look at that. This is the range. Going even more. This is even further. So just know that the range is very high. And from here, we finally dropped the range. We can no longer hit him. And now see, if I go further, a little bit more forward. A little bit more forward. Be able to tag him? There we go. He's marked now. We'll go a bit back, a bit more forward. Wait a bit more. He should get... There it is. This is the range. And then we just kill him. Boop. Dead. And there you go, guys. That is pretty much it for the tools. Hopefully this video helped out, teaching you how to generally play stealth. I really think Mirage has been the most fun I've had in an AC game. I do like it quite a lot. It's my favorite game right now. So yeah, get in on some Assassin's Creed Mirage. Enjoy the stealth, enjoy the game, do all the contracts. They're really fun, actually. The contracts are great. Hopefully we get a DLC in the future or something. I really love Basim's story and just the ability to use stealth. It has so much freedom of expression with stealth in a way that I can't just put the words. It's all about just showing you. And it's been a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. And take care of yourselves, and I'll catch y'all in the arena. Peace out. And remember, nothing is true, and everything is permitted.